Welcome to My Voices Have Tourette's, and that's why the world is still listening. My name is Dan Zarin. Let's get started here. So today's episode is brought to you by Gamesless Studio, where we are recording, The Secret Cellar, Iceland's first and only comedy club, and Smári's Volcano Sauces, the greatest hot sauces I've ever had in my entire life. Today I am joined by two of my dear friends. One of them is my co-host. You guessed it, Þórhallur.
What?
Long time no see, man.
Hey, man, how are you doing, man?
I feel like we do the same introduction every time as well. It's like, long time no see. Wow, you traveled real far to get here.
I know. Can I call you Danny?
Can you call? No, you cannot call me Danny.
You look like a Danny.
You may not.
You look like a beautiful Danny.
I used to go by Danny.
Really?
I did. I used to go by Danny when I was a kid, and my parents still call me Danny, but
Yeah.
I don't really like
Danny
the
boy.
name anymore.
Come on, Danny
No,
boy.
you know how many times I got that? I got so many names when I was a kid because in the States, we had this place called Discovery Zone.
Yeah.
And their commercials were always like DZ Discovery Zone. So I always, and because my initials are DZ, every day I'd go to elementary school and kids would be like, "Hey, DZ Discovery Zone." I'd be like, "Fuck you."
That's not annoying at all.
I was an angry fifth grader.
All right.
But anyway, joining us though, we have an awesome guy here going for a round two. Let's welcome Friðrik.
Hey, guys, let's have some good Christian fun.
Absolutely. And I realized that I introduced him by his nickname. Well, a short.
Yeah.
What is it? A nickname or is it just a short?
Something that I don't like. I don't like. It's like something that sticks. People are like, "What?" Like when I was in first grade, people are like, "We were supposed to write like on a card what we wanted to be called." Right. And I thought about it. I was like, do I want to be a Frickie? And then I was like, no, I'm going to be a grown-up. I'm going to be Friðrik. And then everybody was just like, hey, what's up, Frickie? And I was like, it's spoiled again.
See, I always referred to you as Friðrik for the longest time. And then I noticed everyone slowly calling him Frickie.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, I'll call him Frickie. And he never said anything.
Yeah.
So now I know that he hates it.
It's respected.
Freaky Fricky.
Fricky Friday.
Whoa. I like it.
But yeah, sure he hasn't gotten that one before. But how are you, man?
I am so good. I just woke up and threw up in the sink. It was disgusting.
You threw up in the sink. Was there a reason or you just felt like it?
Well, you know, I feel bad.
Just felt
No.
like it.
Hey, you never know.
I feel like throwing up in a sink right now.
Hey,
that's kind of the day I'm having. I just want to throw up in the sink.
One day you wake up and you're just like, you know what? I feel like being clean today. I'm not going to do it. But then you wake up the next day and you're like, you know what I feel like doing today? What? I didn't do it yesterday because I didn't feel like cleaning it.
Okay, let me just set things straight. It was more in the sense I was like, it was just that I was drinking a cup of coffee, you know, as I do, you know, Fricky 4 cups, you know, as they call me, sometimes 8. You know, as we hang with the slang, bang, bang, bang. Yeah. And like the last sip had like a kvörn, I'm not sure what it's called, like the cords out of it, just like... I just went in right, and I was just like, bleh, and then I threw up in the sink, and I was like, well, this is as good an idea as any, and then I was just like, bleh, 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 bleh.
Because I remember when we did the first show with you, I talked to you afterwards because you drank like 16,000 cups of coffee.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and then afterwards you were like, was it okay? I was like, yeah, it's okay. And then you didn't answer me for a while. Then he came back and was like, I was throwing up. I was like, what? Yeah, I drank so much coffee I just threw up. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
It's like
he was eating coffee last
It's
time.
like he saw that video of Dave Grohl going, fresh pots! And he was just like, game on, bitch.
I think he meant different kind of pots. You know, this kind of thing you cook with.
Really?
What?
Oh,
That's such a bad joke. I should. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw up now.
You learn something new every day.
Friðrik has terrible jokes about pots.
You know what's that? All right, so I actually tried a new kind of coffee the other night. One of my friends gave it to me. It was have you heard of that coffee that's like brewed using it's made through the shit of an animal?
I was gonna say I didn't want to like jump in front of you. And he's like, "Are you talking about the legendary shit coffee?"
Yeah, it was the crappiest coffee I've ever had in my life.
Oh no.
It kind of gave me the runs a little bit.
No.
Yeah,
Diarrhea gave me diarrhea? Okay.
Yeah, the diarrhea gave me diarrhea. It was nutty. It was a bit nutty.
Dan.
A bit of a crunchy vibe to it.
Oh, Dan.
I can feel a certain aroma. It's le poop.
Le poop.
Yeah. What was the coffee called? Le Poop.
Le poop. It's French. We like the French.
All right, now we've already lost like 10 listeners.
Yeah. We probably have.
Stop talking.
Yeah, you start off with 10 people listening, and then they go, this is fun. Wait, poop coffee? No, I'm out. I'm out.
And then we get like a loyal fan base that's just like, I love poop. I mean coffee. I love poop coffee.
See, what's going to happen is I'm going to get contacted by this company, and they're going to be like, hey, would you like to be sponsored by our coffee? And I'm going to be like, honestly, no.
How much? Okay, yeah, I'll do it.
Right? How much? No.
Do it for me, Dad. Give me salmonella.
No, it would be a really shitty deal.
Oh, damn. Yeah, we have a saying here. It's not dad jokes, it's Dan jokks.
That is accurate. That is accurate.
I like how when you tell this to people, anyone who doesn't know me, they're just like, oh, because he tells a lot of dad jokes. Anyone that knows me, they're just like, oh my fucking goodness, that's true.
It really is.
So accurate.
What's wrong? Hey, what's wrong with a good old fashioned dad joke? Every once in a while.
Nothing.
Every once in a while. I say every once in a while, but I do it every day.
I know.
But so Friðrik, what have you been up to lately? Dancing.
Yeah, it's like I'm on new medication now.
Oh, what do you mind sharing what you're taking? That's a really personal question. I like how because of the nature of the show, I was like, oh, that's a reasonable question. And then I thought about it. I was like, that was highly inappropriate.
No, it's fine. It's called Atomosecond.
Okay.
And it's like Strattera, which is an ADHD medication.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually really curious because I've been on both Concerta and Strattera, and now I'm going to describe the difference.
Yes.
It's like versus woo. You know?
Okay.
No? Okay.
Sure.
It's like one is a temporary solution that only works for 8 to 12 hours, and the rest works all day.
What?
And I'm on the thing that works all day, and it's amazing, and I feel smarter and better.
I'm kind of amazed that in Iceland they don't just give people speed. I mean, why don't they just cut the middleman out? I mean, because like no one in the world actually does speed anymore, but Icelanders seem to do it all the time. So I don't know why they don't just use that for medication.
Fast talkers, man.
Are some of the side effects you have to throw up in a sink?
No, it's just like you have to throw up. The sink was extra. It's just like, yeah. That's my personal preference going in there.
Yeah.
But actually, this medication is not like endorsed by Speed, like amphetamine.
Okay.
He just throws up in the sink and he's just like, shouldn't have been standing there.
but I agree with Dan's point about Iceland being obsessed with speed. Because like when I heard it didn't have like the speed in this truck, I was just like, so is it even gonna fucking work?
I mean, what's the point if it doesn't have speed in it? I don't really care. I don't care if it's helping me anymore. I just want that speed, man.
Well, you see, like speed works different on people with ADHD. We just become like cool, calm, and collected. I'm just throwing out stereotypes.
I'm just imagining like an Icelandic commercial for speed as a medication where it's just like, are you suffering from ADHD? Try the new speed.
Well, that's actually a famous, sounds like a famous sketch from Fossbrother.
Is it?
Yeah. They're just like, I used to be so tired all the time, but then I was introduced to speed, and now I haven't slept for days, and I've cleaned my apartment. So
it sounds pretty good. Cleaning your apartment is good. Jordan Peterson. No.
By the way, I do want to make a take a quick second here to mention to our listeners, if you're listening at home, do not do speed.
No, we do not endorse.
We do not endorse speed. We do not want anything to do with it. It is a lame drug. It is horrible. Do not do it.
Disgusting.
Drugs are not cool, so be a fool. Take a stool and sit on it.
It smells good, but that's it.
It does not.
It doesn't. It doesn't smell good.
No.
But I was now Friki, because last time there we go, Friki, Friðrik. So last time we had you on here, so we talked all about your manic episode, and we talked about the videos that you did on Instagram, yeah, I rewatched some of them, and I actually came across a video that had something that I was actually fascinated by. You came up while you were manic. You came up with the world's greatest superhero. So
was it Compassion Man?
Yeah, I've taken the liberty. I've contacted DC Comics, and there is going to be a Batman vs Compassion Man coming out.
Should I try to do the whole thing?
Go for it.
I think I remember. It's just like, okay, so I'm gonna set the tone. Like, imagine the shittiest superhero, which is just like Compassion Man, and he will never help you. It's just like Compassion Man, can you help me? It's just like, I don't know if that makes me feel good, but you should try to help yourself because I believe in you. Something to that extent. You know?
I think Compassion Man would actually beat Batman. Like, Batman would be Batman. Would come like, I'm Batman. And Compassion Man would be like, I'm so sorry for your loss of your parents. And Batman would break down and cry.
Yeah, he would.
I was just like,
and
then he would just be like normal billionaires to spend their money on drugs and prostitutes.
I imagine Compassion Man showing up and just like, Compassion Man, we need your help. All right.
I feel your
tell me what's wrong.
Yeah.
well, there's this guy. He's coming. Yes. And tell me more.
I need to hear your point of the story so I can feel good about myself.
Right.
Compassion Man.
It would be kind of similar to Therapy Man.
Yeah. Kind of sounded like Therapy Man.
Therapy Man, the only superhero that gets paid by the hour.
Gets paid in hugs. I don't want much, just a few hundred hugs. So from you and you and you, not you and you.
Therapy Man and his sidekick, the sofa.
Couch boy.
Yeah, Couch Boy. It's Therapy Man and Couch Boy. Couch Boy, will you help us?
Yeah, come lay on me.
Sorry, he doesn't talk much.
No,
lay it on me.
He's like mute, and he's like, I can read fabric. I know what he's saying. I can read fabric.
My question though is what would be the opposite of Compassion Man? Like who would his villain be?
You got to be really careful when you pick an end, because I was about to go somewhere and I was like, no, I don't want those people against me. And then I was like, maybe I should go there. I was like, no, I don't want those people against me.
So you got to be PC, man.
How about doesn't give a fuck, dude?
Yeah, that could be it. And hey, the song by the Shady Bromigos could be the theme song. It's just like, hey, it's I don't give a fuck, man. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Check out Shady Bromigos.
We should just always do like promos for the Shady Bromigos, and just see how many people look them up.
Oh, I used to love that band. Oh,
I used to love them too. I don't know whatever happened to them.
No. Well,
I'm going to search them after this.
They had that I don't know how far I want to take this.
No, just take it all the way.
They had that song Pulsa.
Yeah.
It was well, the lyrics were so profound.
I know.
They were so intelligent. It was something like your penis is a pulsa.
Yeah.
Your pica is a taco.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Oh.
Put the pulsa in the taco. Just do me like that.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Poetic.
Yeah.
That's my word. Yeah, it's very poetic. I feel like tears coming from the inside.
Yeah.
I'm leaking.
That's where tears usually come from the inside.
Yeah.
But also in your videos, because I was going through a bunch of them, and I noticed like we were talking in the last episode that you thought that you called out people that you were talking to. And there was one that you were like talking to Owen Benjamin.
Yeah.
Like you were talking to him, and it was like you did this video, and then the second one, it was like you were apologizing to Owen Benjamin, and it was like the one after that, but you weren't really apologizing.
Okay, so like at this point, I'm like, I need someone to talk to me. I need to share my story. I need to just be able to speak, and I need someone with a big platform. And like apparently Joe Rogan and Ed Santino and Tom and Christina are responding. So I need to go far right because those people have no friends. So they'll be fine with talking to me. So I'm just like, oh yeah, Owen Benjamin is canceled. So I'm like, Owen, if you want to talk to somebody and you're against censorship and PC culture, then better than that, you should go talk to me, Mr. Owen. And he's just like probably looking at it in his fucking mansion, just like, what a freak. Yeah.
Well, I think my favorite thing about like when you were like, because at one point you switched to talking to the far right people, and it was like you acted like you were for them, but then you insulted them.
Because I'm so intelligent when I speak. It's just like, yes, Dad, how does it feel? You freak? Besides, I didn't say anything, you know? I don't know. It's just like, it was a difficult time in my life, you know? I don't really know what I was saying. I was just, you know, being a boy, telling boy things. You know, man.
Because I mean, honestly, like because there were some videos that were like, I mean, honestly, kind of heartbreaking to watch, and then there were other videos where because I know you, I got the humor that you were trying, like you would see today, whether you saw it then or not. Like there was one video where you were actually like, it was like you set out to apologize to everyone. And you were like, you were like, I'm doing these apologies because I realized that, you know, I should apologize to everyone. And then out of nowhere you switched to, but fuck you all. You're horrible fucking people. I hate you all. And it was just like such a hard left turn. I was like, where the hell did that come from?
So I don't know, like bipolar people sometimes flip flop. They go like, so like, and I feel like you were taking artistic license when you were like describing my video, like paraphrasing, maybe. I don't remember saying that. I don't remember all my videos. They're up here.
Right.
Because but there's like a funny thing, and I might actually like, I'm not going to delete any of the videos, but I might archive them, you know, so that they're just for me. Because I didn't understand what I was talking about until I started taking this medication. I know I'm not manic. It's like, after like the first day, which was a lot of complaining and blah, 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 I remember I said, oh, and Friðrik, what about you just throwing away all this material and blah, 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 just like in the context of you're making all these great jokes. And I'm watching this as I'm going through this, and I'm like, I haven't made a single joke.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, I was writing a joke and creating a joke, and I was like, where did I come up with? And I was like, I talked about this in my manic video. So like, I think the concept of what I was saying was like, not that I was making a lot of jokes, but just like subject matter to joke about.
Well, I think that's That's one of the weirdest things about being comedians talking about our disorders and syndromes is the fact that sometimes, like, I mean, there are things that we do when we're dealing with our conditions that are not funny to us, or just like we're not even trying to make jokes or anything, but then we come up with a joke later and we're just like, well, yeah, that actually works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, me go.
I like that he said bromigo in the shadiest way possible.
Yeah.
In the shade. That's the shadiest way possible. Yeah, in the shade. He's like, I'm in the shade. I'm all alone. It's so warm outside. I'm in Iceland.
But when you went back over them, like, did you try to work on material based on the videos, or were you just trying to find material that you had?
Both. Like, I've tried going through the videos a couple of times, but like, this is so good because, like, you don't necessarily want everybody to see this.
No.
Like everything, because it's really emotional and it's like painful and
right.
But sometimes it, like, as I was watching it, because I watched like at least a couple of hours worth of videos, and as I'm watching it, I'm getting like I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling happy. Something brings me joy, or I'm like, oh, I remember what I was thinking when I said all those things, and and this, then, oh wow, and then like sometimes you're just like, and now I have to clock out because this has been too much to watch. But like, I have this perfect buffer on the video, which is called the 21st of January. I kind of gave the secret away, so I have to hurry up and archive this after the interview. But like, the first like 100 videos are just like super angry and just like constantly complaining and whining and repeating stuff, saying the same thing in a different video in a slightly different way, but still the same way. So it's really hard to get through them because they're really boring.
Right.
And then you hit the day number 22, and I will definitely have to archive all my videos after this. I'm just like, okay, so the best bits are here. No, yeah, they just like it started to get like fun, and I'm playful and energetic, and I'm just like, oh, hopeful for some jokes. And I actually wrote, like, it took me 3 days of viewing and 3 days in actual time of the videos to find the first joke I wrote when I was manic. I mean, it's not my best work for sure. But it's definitely not the worst stuff I've done. No.
I mean, we all have material that we look back on and we're just like, okay, that was just not funny.
Yeah, just like, oh, the other hundreds of jokes I've made, just like, yeah, those are just going to go to the junk pile, and they're going to stay there and rot and turn into compost, and it's going to be great.
But you actually made a comment before while when you were talking about this that I actually realized it kind of hit me because like you were the thing is, like, I remember I was talking to Stepnid one day, like he was talking about his last manic episode, and he was talking about something that happened on it, and I remember talking to him because he's so open about everything in his stand-up. So I said, dude, this part right here that you're talking about, that would be a great thing to talk about in your stand-up. And he goes, should I though? And I was like, well, you can easily make this a big, story. And he goes, well, isn't this a bit personal? And I went, well, to be fair,
have you listened to your material before?
No. I said, well, to be fair, that's on you. Yeah. That's on the comedian to decide if something's too personal. Yeah. And it is true, because of the nature of what we talk about, if there's something that's too personal, you just shouldn't talk about it on stage.
I mean, you just have to feel comfortable talking about it. So it's of course up to you.
Because you were talking about how the videos were like some of them were kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Now I'm just like, we're in joke story mode. I wrote a great joke yesterday, and I'm actually opening my laptop, so maybe I'll tell it towards the end.
Okay.
And then people can judge me not based on everything I've like expressed through these interviews and these chats that we're having. They'll just be like, I hate him because of that one joke. It's not bad. It's a playful joke. It's new because like once, and I'm gonna be talking about my medication and my new life now a lot. But because now I can comprehend thoughts and I can articulate better, and it's easier for me, and I'm happier. And when you're happier, it's easier to write jokes. At least I feel when you're like in a better mood, it's like you're more prone to look for a joke, maybe.
Right.
So I've just been writing like crazy.
It's always the myth that you have to be kind of down or feel bad to be creative. I think that the Corona situation, like the lockdown and everything, I think that because every one of us was like, "Oh, I'm going to write so much stuff right now." None of us have written anything because you don't feel motivated. You just like it kills all creativity. So
I did have one joke I started working on the other day, but I remember I finished it and I was just like, is this even good though?
Tell that joke. Tell
the joke. All right. Well, I'll tell the concept of it. It's basically I was thinking about the difference between owning a cat and owning a dog.
Yeah.
And having a dog, it's like you've got a friend. Having a cat, it's like constantly being in an interrogation. Like they're constantly like interrogating you about everything that you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, I can see it.
So it's like when you forget to clean the litter box one day, and the cat like before they even walk in the room, they know you've forgotten. So they walk in, they sniff like a second, the litter box is on the other end of the room, and they're just like,
really?
Something's not right here. And then they scream at you, and they're just like, okay, so yesterday I pooped. Now I'm not sure why I was pooping next to Tuesday's poop. That remains a mystery. But what I want to know is why is yesterday's poop still in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Hey.
There it is.
I like it because mainly because I've owned cats, so I can see like all my cats just complaining like why is this still here?
Why Tuesday's poop is still here? That still remains a mystery.
I used to have
I like it.
I used to have like a passive aggressive kitten. Like I didn't clean the litter box, so he was just like, "Well, enjoy cleaning the rest of the floor," and just started kicking everything everywhere.
Yeah. Let's go pee in your, bedroom.
I had a friend who had a cat who, would always, try. It was like he was trying to piss him off.
Yeah.
So, he had these, really nice speakers next to his computer. So the cat would, hop up on them with its claws, and he'd look at it and be like, "Oh, don't you dare. Don't you do it." And the cat would just look at him straight in the face. And it was almost like he was saying, "Oh, you mean do this?" And then just scratch at the speaker.
Yeah. I've only once in my life have I been happy that I was peed on. Only once.
Okay, now you have to tell this story.
Wait, let me just take my pants off.
So I had a cat named Höskuldur. It's a great name for a cat. Höskuldur. And he got into an accident. So a car hit him. This is, that's not the funny part of the story. I thought this
was the funny.
No. He survived. He survived, but he lost his tail. So this is still not the funny part.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. And he had to go for operation, and it cost a lot of money, but I didn't care. It was my cat. I loved him, so I did everything that I could. Borrowed money just to pay for the operation and everything. And the first 24 hours were critical. They was because it was back there, and they said if some nerve damage has been done, he doesn't know that maybe he has to pee. Then that might then he doesn't pee. It will hold the pee in, that gets infection, and he dies.
Oh.
So they were you have to if he pees, that means that he has feeling and he knows he has to pee and everything. So. But so he was kind of probably after operation and everything. So he was kind of feeling vulnerable. So he slept on me the whole night. And the day after, I woke up and I was covered in pee, and I was like, yeah!
That is so heartbreaking, though.
I know, but he was fine. He didn't have a tail, but he was the number one cat downtown Reykjavik. Every tourist took pictures of him. There's probably, if you can, like the downtown cat, Reykjavik cat or something. That's, if you see just on Instagram, that's my that's my cat. You know. No tail, that's my cat, and he was famous downtown. He was famous. He was like, and he loved the attention.
Regular old Pookie.
Yeah.
I have a similar story about a hooker from Venezuela who peed on me with her tail.
Oh Jesus!
Did she have
with
a tail?
Her tail.
Her front tail.
Yeah. It was just like, well,
yes,
I was like, do you have to do this? And she was like, well, this is what you chose. I don't speak Spanish.
I just want to take this moment. No, but actually, because we're talking about jokes and comedy, I actually did want to talk about something here about performing, and I'm wondering what, if you guys have had experiences with this. Because Friðrik, you were I was talking to you once. This is like over a year ago, about the fact that you sometimes write your material on your hand, and I was
bullet points.
Yeah, no, I was wondering because I mean, like I've talked about on stage about there have been times where I've been performing and halfway through performing I have a depressive episode while I'm performing. Yeah. And have you guys because like Friðrik, you've talked about bipolar, you've also talked about ADHD, and you've talked to me in person that you also deal with OCD and depression. And Þórhallur, you know, with anxiety, have you guys ever had to deal with this stuff, like getting triggered while you're on stage?
Okay, I feel like so I've been depressed and thought about like, I don't want to perform tonight, but I still go on, and it's usually the best set that I have is, I don't know, it's just something about all the serotonin leaving your body and you don't have high expectations or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
Then, of course, because of the ADHD, I have a I used to, before I found Christ medication. Then I used to I would write these bullet points on my hand because I would be like, I could recite it in my head just like five times the entire set. But if I didn't do it enough, I would just blank out on stage and I'd be like, what am I talking about next?
Right.
So it's been really difficult for me, you know, as a human.
No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, now you go. I talk, now you talk.
No, I mean, I've been doing this for a few years, and
a couple.
And there's been many of times that I'm like sitting, have like a corporate gig somewhere. Sometimes I have to drive outside of Reykjavik. You have to go somewhere. It'll take maybe an hour, 2 hours to drive there. And I used to get my brother to come along with me just because it wouldn't be as lonely. And sometimes I would be sitting in the car and the party's going in there and I can hear everybody's like having a lot of fun and I'm just alone in the car and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? And I'm getting like so anxious and like, oh, this is gonna go horribly, and then I go in, people laugh, and then we're like, okay, now I remember why I do this. This is but so I've often gotten that, the anxiety is I'm almost driving away, not doing the gig or something. But I used to, for many, many years, I always had like a list of my set, just bullet points. I wouldn't look at it, but it was like a safety blanket. It was always there. I knew that, and when I got the feeling like, oh, I'm about to get like a panic attack, and when I get a panic attack, my memory and everything goes away, and then I remember, oh, I have all my jokes written on a piece of paper, so I can do that. I can look at that if I really get into a huge panic attack. But I don't need that anymore for some reason. I think it's just because I've been doing it for a long, long time. Yeah,
I think that's why I tend to do more story form comedy good because I've noticed like when I was writing the show Squeak, I was writing all of the material, and it was like purposefully set up so that each story went into the next one. So each joke was one large story instead of just individual ones. Because like I've talked about many times in this podcast, like with ADD, I have trouble processing the order of thoughts. So what happens is that I would write all of these jokes in succession, so that I wouldn't have a problem remembering them. I would just know it's just one long thing.
Yeah. I mean, and it's a good way to write jokes is have something in the joke that reminds you of the next joke.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
okay. So are you just so I'm getting this? That were you just saying like it's like a new thing is like so in my jokes I would sometimes have segues to segue to the next joke. It's like wow, I've never heard of that
before. What a breakthrough!
Well, basically,
what a concept.
But it was like everything is like specifically written so I don't forget the next joke.
Yeah. But I do remember now one time that I blanked. And it's one of the first. No, it was the first time I actually did comedy on live TV.
Oh,
and I blanked. I did
blanked.
Yeah, I didn't remember one word I was going to say, and this was because this was before I got on medication for my anxiety, so I still had really bad anxiety, and it was going, it's going to be anxious when the first time you're going to do live TV, and it was Djúpalögin. Do you remember Djúpalögin?
Of course, that is
that's
like a dating show.
Yes, as a dating show. And
you played a dating show.
I just did stand up, so it was kind of like I wasn't on the dating show. For that, I was not a contestant, but I was supposed to do like 5 minutes because I was promoting another like a show. And they didn't tell me how it's going to work. They you could go in front of the camera, and then I thought they would say, "Okay, you live in 5, 4, 3," or something like that.
Right.
So they just and backstage I was whiter than a piece of paper. I was so like anxious and everything. I was getting like I looked like a corpse, and then it just like go. I still do, but even worse then. And
you are Icelandic.
Yeah. And they were like, "Okay, go in front of the camera over there." And I went there and stood and didn't say a thing, and I was waiting for the 5, 4, 3, but I was already live.
Oh,
so I just went in front of the camera, didn't say anything, and then I just saw like a panic mode behind the camera, and they were like, "Go!" And then anxiety hit me, and I forgot everything. And so I've never seen this. I can't. My brother has the thing.
We have to get that recording.
He recorded it. I've never seen it. I've never been able to watch it. But when I think about it, I was like, "Oh, hey, everybody!" Well, yes.
We have got to get that recording.
This is stand up. Thank you.
That is actually. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And then I went like downtown afterwards, and I was like, I need to drink my sorrows away. And there was some guy who was like, "I loved your stand up." He thought it was like anti stand up, like I was doing an anti Kaufman thing. He was like, "I loved it when you just didn't say anything." I was like, "Yeah, that was on purpose."
Thanks, man.
But that was horrible, and I've never been able to watch it.
Have you guys seen that though? This is stand up. It's such a good. I'm pretty sure it's called that. It's such a good documentary on stand up.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
No, I don't think
we were talking about it at one point, but I haven't seen it yet.
Also, my mother's brother, I'm pretty sure he met his wife through Djúpalögin, and they got married and are still married today.
Maybe that was the episode.
Maybe they're just like, well, we can't be as bad as that.
Yeah, so maybe they bonded over how bad I was. They were like, "That was horrible." Yeah, it was horrible.
Like a meet cute.
Yeah.
like how did you guys meet? Well, we were on this dating show, and there was this comedian, but I mean, he was absolutely horrendous.
He just didn't say anything. He just stared in the camera and became wider and wider.
And I just looked into his eyes and was just like, well, as long as we're not that bad, we should be fine.
Oh it was horrible. It was horrible.
And their first child was actually named Þórhallur. No, okay, no.
But yeah, that was my horrible live TV experience. Yeah, it was horrible.
That was. But to be fair, you have gotten so much better with your anxiety. And I actually watched you make a phone call today.
Hey, I just answered my brother.
Yeah, you answered a phone call.
Yeah, it was just.
I think that deserves a clap.
Thank you. By the way, my brother calls me like 15 times a day. Maybe once I answer him. Yeah, maybe.
You need the other 14 times to make sure it's not a prank.
Yeah.
Or the wrong number. Just like, who is this?
But I've got to ask though, because you've been performing for several years now. What would you say is your favorite gig you've done?
My favorite. Okay, so you remember how
other than this podcast, of course.
Other than me creaming my pants over this podcast, of course. But like no, I have like a few moments of like, but there's like what, because you guys remember how it used to be like much more offensive and not as funny and everything was terrible that it came out of my mouth.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah. Shut up, Blakey.
Go do your live performance in blank.
So I was doing like, I'm gonna do the clean version first, and then I'm gonna say what I actually mean. It's like, so I was doing like a joke about dieting. So he was doing a joke about bulimia, and like,
yeah, I remember that joke.
Yeah, and I was doing it, and I was actually couldn't, perfect venue for that kind of humor. They all know it. And there's like this super roided up guy that's like super strong, and I don't know why I'm flexing. That's if people can see me. Just like this roided up guy, just like I feel like he's flexing. No, and as I'm going through the joke, I can just tell from it, like by looking at him, that he's just getting more angry. He's like crossing his arms, and his eyes are widening, and he's just looking at me, and he's shaking his head slowly, and then I do the final punchline, and he just bursts out laughing. And that is probably one of my favorite, just because like I was just like, this guy is going to beat the living shit out of me after the show. And I was like, okay, I want him over. Holy shit, I want him over.
Yeah, I always love that feeling, yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the highlights that I remember doing like a gig, and some girl came after the show and she said, "I peed my pants." I was like, that's the best compliment I've ever gotten in my life. I made somebody pee their pants.
Did she have a tail?
I can't go into that, but
I was gonna be like, did you go kitty?
No. So and I think I've heard that 2 or 3 times in my like after a gig, like I peed my pants. Literally, I was like, that's the best thing I've ever heard.
Well, actually, because this reminds me,
my goal is to like kill somebody with laughter.
Of course. But this actually reminds me, because I was thinking about this earlier. Have you guys ever had a joke that you've written that you were very proud of, but you always get anxiety about performing it because of the nature of the joke? Like I have a joke that I wrote years ago. You probably already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The drink story.
Yeah.
It's a joke that like I mean, I'm not going to tell the joke, but basically it's a joke that sounds like it's un-PC, but it's not.
Yeah.
If like it's one of those that it's one of those you have to listen to the end to understand what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But it's one of those jokes I have gotten so much fucking anxiety just like because York Underwood loves that joke, and he's always telling me, he's like, Dan, just tell that joke on stage. It's a good joke. Tell it on stage. Yeah. And then I finally tell it on stage, and I'm literally sweating bullets as I'm telling it because I've performed sets where I've told that joke, and in the start of it, I've had people have stood up and walked out, and then as soon as I get to the end, like one of the people that walked out, like they had come in just at the end of it, and they were like, "Oh, okay."
Are you peeing, Friðrik?
No, I'm boiling for some more coffee. I like this
Okay, just to explain, we can see you on video here. Then all of a sudden, I couldn't see you anymore, and then I just heard, pits. I was like, is he peeing right now? All right.
Well, you know, the theme of the show. The theme of the show has been about pits, so
Yeah.
I was just, I was just following
and poop. Yeah.
Welcome to My Voices Have Pee.
No, that kind of joke that you are kind of we were talking about, that needs confidence.
Oh, yeah.
You need to be like, this is the joke, and it's gonna start out bad, but listen to the end, and then you realize what I'm actually talking about. You know.
And that's the thing. You get so much anxiety because some jokes, like, I mean, they're perfectly fine. They're perfectly PC and everyone loves them. But the problem is that you have to have that confidence to get through the rough parts so that they know that you're not just being a douche, that you have a point to it and you're actually on their side. And you
wait for the twist for room.
But having that, but that thought of like, what if I fuck this up? What if I fuck it up and everyone thinks I'm not talking about what I'm talking about?
I just forget the end, and they only hear about the part where I sound really awful. And
yeah. I mean, have you guys had those moments where your anxiety just goes crazy about a specific joke?
Just every single set I do.
Just every set.
every single joke I've ever done.
Yeah.
For 300, Alex? No. No, it's. I don't remember what joke it was, but I remember the feeling behind it, and it's like it was a joke that I was supposed to be working on, and I was supposed to be like taking it on stage, see how it works, work it out. And the subject matter was, I think it was because of the subject matter. I was just like, yeah, I'm not in the mood to try this out tonight because like obviously, you know, you make some off-color jokes and stuff like that, and you're still at that time, you're all, of course, just thinking like, oh, I hope this will make people laugh, but at the same time, you're still just like, everybody will hate me. Right. That still goes through your head, just like everybody will, like, but you gotta get over that shit, man. You can't, like, for me, it's like 5-minute sets. I'm just like, do my thing, get better.
I think my favorite.
Take risks.
Yeah, I forget if I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but my favorite bit of advice I've ever been given was from a comedian that I will always love to give a shout out to, which is JoJo Sutherland, from Scotland. Yeah. She came to Iceland to perform for Scotch on Ice. What was it, 2 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
And I remember I was actually telling her about this joke, I was telling her about the fact that I'm always afraid to tell it because I'm always worried what the audience will think. Yeah. And she literally just cuts me off and she goes, Dan, fuck what the audience thinks. You tell them what's funny. And I thought about that because it's like stuck with me all this time because I've realized, I mean, that is the point of being a comedian. Is yes, I mean, at some points when we write material, we are writing based on what we think the audience wants or what we want to have them, find funny. But it is that thing that you have to realize is it's the confidence thing. It's you going, this is funny. You're going to laugh at it. Cough. Yeah.
Even though you don't have the confidence, you have to fake the confidence.
Oh, yeah.
They have to think you have the confidence. So you just have to tell it like you're confident with the joke.
And also like sometimes we write jokes that were like, the audience will probably like that. But like at other times we write jokes that are like, I think this is really funny. I hope somebody else thinks this is funny.
Right.
As funny as me. It's just like... So I'm just saying, like, if there are actually some comedy nerds listening to it, it's just like, oh, pointers from the professionals. Not that I'm a professional in the least or will be in the next 10 years. But, it's just like, for me, it's like write something that I think is funny and like hopefully the rest of the people will be like, oh yeah, that is funny. But yeah,
I mean you can't really perform a joke that you don't think is funny yourself.
No,
that's gonna
it comes out in the performance.
Yeah. People will say like he doesn't even like the joke, so why should we?
Yeah.
All right, but now before we get going here, I have to ask because I've been waiting for this entire time. Do we have any Peter from Scotland stories?
Okay. Two things. I'm going to tell my joke after this. And okay, so like Peter from Scotland has weird things where he would be like, he has like this weird thing with ears.
Okay.
I don't like, but like I just like, yes, you can touch my ear, it's fine, and you know, it's weird. But like my relationship with Peter has improved so much after I got on this medication that I realized that like a lot of the times he was annoying me, but like most of the time, like it's probably because I wasn't feeling good. And like I had some issues, so I let like things get on my nerves more.
Right.
So like I'm gonna retire Peter's stories. Like Peter's a pretty swell guy. He means well.
I see. So the last time you were telling these stories because you hated him, but now that you find him a pretty cool guy, you're like, you know what? I don't think I should be joking about him.
Yeah, obviously, because I have convictions.
Yeah.
The last time, maybe he was giving too many hugs.
Yeah.
It just got so irritating. He's like, enough with the hugs.
Yeah, that is true. Like at a certain point, it's like if a person says hello to you too many times, it's like, yes, hello, I fucking get it, hello.
or if somebody asks you too many times, is something wrong? Is there something wrong?
Yeah.
Now something's wrong. Stop asking me.
Nothing was wrong before, but now there is. What's wrong? You!
Okay, so are you ready for the joke? I wrote it yesterday.
Yes.
I'm really proud.
Let's hear it.
We're ready with the beep button.
Okay, so I'm on... You guys censored it, didn't you?
Of course we did.
Yeah.
Now we'll play it. We'll play it.
Okay, so I'm on Grindr. I'm not gay. It's just nice to be getting actual compliments. Before that, I had no idea my eyes were beautiful, or I had a cute smile, or that I have an above average dick. Like, I'm not gay, but men are so much better at giving compliments. Ladies, step up your game. Like, I went on a date once with a guy from Grindr, and I felt like a woman because I let him pay for the meal, the taxi, and I didn't sleep with him. So the pacing of the joke was, the joke is good. I just have to like change the pacing.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit, just like a little bit of pop here, a little bit of maybe make a little face, just like.
Maybe a little pizzazz.
Never do that face again. Never do that
face again.
But did you get
or
the
maybe
premise?
my jokes suck. Maybe my jokes just suck.
Did you get like the idea of the joke from maybe getting compliments from Peter from Scotland?
I was just like, so me and Peter were making out, I was just like, I'm so grateful that I installed Grindr, and no, I don't know. It's like sometimes I just get it like. Wouldn't it be fun? Sometimes you have it like, wouldn't it be funny to have because a lot of people have and straight people have like Tinder jokes.
Yeah.
And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if me, a pretty cool guy, would have a Grindr joke?
I thought you was pretty straight. Like pretty straight, straightish.
It's like almost straight, Who hasn't slept with a guy?
If he compliments you, if you compliment you gotta give something back.
Yeah, it's like women have been oppressed for so long. It's time for us guys to be oppressed for once,
Yes.
Exactly. Well, I think with that we are down to the end of the interview. So first of all, thank you, Friðrik. Thank you so much for being on the show again. It's always great to have you here.
Thank you.
And Þórhallur, thank you for being my co-host.
Well, you're so welcome.
And to the people listening out, Friðrik, how can they find you? Where can they find you? Where are you located on the interwebs?
Okay,
your archives.
On the interweb. First, take a cup of coffee. Then go on the internet. Search on Twitter. I'm Friðrik H2, and on Instagram I'm Friðrik Hákonarsson. So however you fucking spell that, that's how you find me. So enjoy.
Awesome. And Þórhallur, where can they find you?
Hey, just Þórhallur 83. THORHALLUR. That's how difficult my name is. 83.
And you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok and Facebook.
Yeah.
And you guys can find me at Dan Zarin Comedy on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. You can find out about the show by searching My Voices Have Tourette's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is MVHT Show, and we have our website MVHTshow.com. If you want to support the podcast and help us get bigger and better equipment, check out our PayPal at paypal.me/MVHT Show. That's paypal.me/MVHT Show. However, thankfully, this episode has been brought to you by Gamesless Studio, where we are recording the Secret Cellar, Iceland's first and only comedy club. And Smári's volcano sauce is the greatest hot sauces I've ever had in my life. This is highly distracting and no one can see it. but
nice nipples.
And if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any of the such, feel free to like or subscribe or follow our podcast. Leave us a 5-star review if you loved it. Leave us a 1-star review if you hated it. You can use the hashtag Friðrik if you hated it. If you
canceled.
I'm kidding. Yeah, hashtag canceled. But no, if you honestly, if you didn't like it, leave us a 1-star review and tell us what you didn't like about it. Or honestly, you can let us know at info@mvhtshow.com. You can also message us if you have any topics or questions for the show. Again, that's info@mvhtshow.com. Thanks again for listening, and check out new episodes every Tuesday.